Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Zig Ziglar said this and said it best. What you get by achieving your goals is not as important as what you become by achieving your goals. Amen. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America. On a Thursday, a wet one out there this morning. Call in with the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, good morning, and welcome to the Thursday edition of Zeb at the Ranch. I'm Zeb Bell with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. Excuse me, a little frog in my throat this morning. And, of course, some of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Let's not go any further than welcoming our Pledge of Allegiance person to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Where's our Pledge of Allegiance person?
I guess nobody wanted to call in and do it.
Oh, well, then get real close to the mic and give us a real nice, loud version of the Pledge of Allegiance.
Will do. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good, Wheels. I'm proud of you. Good job, buddy. Thank you. It's time for the weather right now, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And today, Thrifty Thursday, you'll find all kinds of items that'll help spruce up and really make your home look nice. And you don't have to spend a lot of money either. Whatever you need to make your house a home is right over there at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Don't forget, too, all the carpet and the flooring and the kitchen construction, home decor items at Cheney Flooring and Home Design. And right now, here's the weather.
Rain showers and windy. That is going to be the theme for most of the day today. Expect winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour, rain showers. Hopefully those are going to be disappearing as we get on into the afternoon, though. High of 52 tonight, the low of 34. Hopefully going to be partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Still a little bit breezy. Winds out of the southwest right around 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting. High of 55 with an overnight low of 45 for Saturday, last day of the month. Partly cloudy and 66. And for Sunday, maybe some more rain showers are going to be in the forecast, the high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Zeb at the Ranch.
Gina, great job. Thank you very much. Brought to you this hour, as it is every morning at this time, by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door. Cheney Flooring and Home Design. Hey, let's sell some cattle. Merv May, come on in here, man.
All right, a good set of steer calves there, here to get all the 31 moment hand, 31 going.
Oh, that's the chant of, I've said this 1,000 times, the world's best auctioneer, Merv May, over at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley, and along with Cade Rogge and Lance Udy, all the folks over there. This is the sale that works for you. 10 o'clock starting time this morning for the Burley Livestock Sale, and here's just some of the cattle coming in. Oh, it is going to be a ripping good sale. If you're looking for calves, today's the day. Bill and Blake Wickle, Elba, bringing in 100 head of real really good calves. Chip and Kathy Molyneux of Cary, 120 head of weaned calves. Dean Tishannon up at Cary. Hello, Dean, 55 head of calves. John Brooks over to Cary. A lot of folks from Cary coming down today, 60 head of calves. And Clay Blandthorne of Grouse Creek, 88 head of calves. The Night Ranch of Richfield, 20 head of calves. Betsy Whitworth. Hello, Betsy, up in Bliss, semi-load of calves. Richard Miller of Rockland, bringing in 30 head of calves. And the Rose Ranch out of Pork Valley. Did I say Pork Valley? I meant to say Park Valley. Park Valley, 35 head of pregged cows and 30 head of butcher cows. So there you go. Another real good sale. Like I said, a lot of calves coming in today. Sale time at 10 o'clock. And don't forget the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. For sale information or anything about the sale, 678-9411. Merv, sell those steers, would you please?
He gets the steer calves there here to get $31, 1.5, 31, 1.5, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 135, 50, 135, sell them $35. Zeb Bell, get bottom.
Oh, I tell you what, thank you, Merv. I appreciate that. And don't forget, running for re-election is Mike Brown for mayor of the city of Rupert. He wants your vote next Tuesday, and he is committed to the citizens of Rupert. So don't forget, 23 years a business owner over there, a Rupert resident since 1963, and 4 years as mayor of the city of Rupert. He wants to keep on going as your mayor in Rupert. Mike Brown. Be sure and vote for him this next week. Paid for by the committee to elect Mike Brown, Max Vaughn, treasurer. All right, your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Now, I want to mention this a couple of times, and then we're going to start talking about the GOP debate last night. First of all, the Denny's Game of the Week this week will feature Blackfoot against Minico. The Blackfoot Broncos against Minico Spartans. I believe the game's going to be right there at Minico, and you don't want to miss this, boy. I tell you, this is going to be a ripping good game, but that is the Denny's Game of the Week this week. So call me at 312-2976 or send me at zeb@theranch@hotmail.com the prognostication, who you think's going to win and the final score, and you might win a Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's at 611 Overland in Burley. Okay? And a happy birthday tomorrow to Sam Perkins. Sam, happy birthday tomorrow. I hope you get a great big birthday cake and all the ice cream and a lot of presents and cards. Happy birthday, Sam Perkins, tomorrow. There you go. Our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, and they are my friends. I've known them for, oh my goodness, nearly 20 years or more. And they're located at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. They throw the doors open at 7:30 in the morning till 5, Monday through Friday. And they've got all of your heating and electrical needs. And, of course, all the furnace filters, too, to keep your furnace running efficiently and keep you warm and toasty. You stop in and get a case of those. Case of 12 right now at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Once again, a reminder about that Denny's Game of the Week. Minico versus Blackfoot. It's the high school Game of the Week, sponsored by Denny's for a free Grand Slam breakfast. And don't forget to get your pick in. The winning team and, of course, closest to the final score. And send that to me at zeb@theranch@hotmail.com or 312-2976. Denny's Restaurant, delicious, at 611 Overland in Burley. Really appreciate those folks. Now it's your turn. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Ladies and gentlemen, I stress the fact this morning that it is so critical what is happening in this country right now as we speak today. We are looking for a new president. The last one for the last terms, 2 terms, has been absolutely anti-American and has been anti our Constitution and anti our value system. We have 448 days left with Barack Hussein Obama. I am extremely worried what's going to happen in those remaining 448 days. No, I'm not worried. I'm scared. I really am scared. I am very, very worried from some of the people I talked to yesterday at various think tanks around the United States, primarily Washington and New York, that Obama is going to do something that's going to be so devastating to our pocketbooks and our finances over this totally ridiculous and worthless climate change that he is going to try to construct with clean energy, and it's going to devastate our finances. I'll take a call, and then we'll get right back into this. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb. Those debates last night, I was lucky I did not get to listen to them because I do not subscribe to CNBC or MSNBC because they're trash. And last night, they proved it.
Well, wait a minute, though, Keith. I'm going to disagree with you. We're good enough friends that I can disagree with you. I think it was, and over at the station, Wheels, you've got to turn this up in my headset. I'm not getting enough volume on the callers. Turn that up, please. Keith, I disagree with you because I think it was imperative that we all saw exactly what's going on. The media is absolutely biased against the GOP. The media is absolutely biased against Republicans and their conservative values and thoughts. And I think it was imperative that everybody watched it last night and watched the extreme evil and sleaze that came out of the mouth of the moderators so they can tell what's going on in this country.
That's exactly what I've seen in the highlights. And that's the reason why I'm glad I don't have anything to do with those stations, because they are just so full of it.
Yeah.
You know, it just isn't, I don't know, I can't explain, but they have such a hatred for the Republican Party that it's just obvious.
Well, I'm going to be talking at great length for the rest of this morning on this so-called debate last night. I call it a train wreck. But I am glad, Keith, that I missed most of the World Series game. I love baseball. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I love sports. I love baseball. But I thought it would be very much in my favor to watch the debate and understand where the left was coming from. And, boy, it opened my eyes last night.
You bet, and mine too. And I have a renewed respect for Ted Cruz.
You know what? You're right.
Hold it like it was.
You are so right. Keith, I appreciate your call, and I like your viewpoint. I'm going to discuss that here in just a few moments. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. He's right on, and I'm going to tell you why I think he's right on in just a moment. Don't forget Four Paws Bed and Bath. They are going to... I chuckle every time I do this. I'm not going to apologize either. I think it's funny, and I love it because it's a fun deal. Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West, 200 South of Rupert. They have really gone to great pains to put out fun things for people and their dogs, and they're going to have a great big Halloween party costume contest, and it's going to be this Saturday at 1 p.m. at Four Paws Bed and Bath. Yep, they're going to have the costumes for the dogs and the owners, and they're going to have a big parade, and they're going to have prizes, and they're going to have refreshments. Man, this is the way to run a business, and they do a great job, Kathy and the crew at Four Paws Bed and Bath, 370 West, 200 South of Rupert. Just go over there and watch the fun and festivities on Saturday. It's going to be a gas. I'll tell you, a lot of fun. Oh, and by the way, our thanks also go out to Minnecasia Sales. With Zach and the crew, they sponsor Dr. History on Tuesdays, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate everything they've done. Zach and his crew, believe me, with all your Western windows, and don't forget, you can save a lot on your heating bills with upgrading your windows, Western windows at Minnecasia Sales, and they've got carpet in there on sale for $13.50 a yard. Ooh, save you money, and also vinyl for $9.99, normally retailing at $15.99. All of this, along with the Tartar Farm and Ranch gates and panels, everything at Minnecasia Sales, 1321 East Main Street in Burley, sponsoring Dr. History. Thank you very much. Okay, here's the way I saw it, and I want your opinions on this. Last night, those three moderators for CNBC were absolutely, they were like hitmen. And they were like a sleaze with the way that their questions were. I mean, comic book attitudes, and the questions they asked were just completely away from presidential material and information that we, the voters, need. No way, and I'll underline this, and any Democrat that wants to call and arbitrate with me, you go right ahead. No way would a Democrat have been treated this way. No way would there have been questions like that for a Democrat. They just got the soft, cream puff, cupcake questions, and last night, the three very liberal left moderators for MSNBC just absolutely were, it was a waste of time. And all three moderators were so pitiful, and they proved to be liars and mistaken about their questions. Many times, people like Marco Rubio, people like Ted Cruz, people like Chris Christie called them out for their misinformation and backed them into a corner. And it was a great event because at that juncture, and especially Ted Cruz, at that juncture, they had the moderators sitting way back in the chair, kind of wondering, whoo, what just hit us? That was the way to make a rebuttal against these absolute liberal Dems. Now, I honestly thought last night, and I'll get into this a little bit, that Ted Cruz nailed it last night. I thought that he was heads and shoulders above everyone. And I also thought that Marco Rubio and Chris Christie hit some home runs last night. Anyone, and I mean this, any one of the GOP standing up there last night, and I'm trying to be as non-prejudicial as possible, any one of the GOP were heads and shoulders above the Democrats. The just absolutely ridiculous threesome that's left for the Democratic Party, Hillary Clinton and O'Malley and Bernie Sanders, is that the best the Democrats can muster? But I got to tell you, even in this morning's paper, the Associated Press used key words to describe their contempt for the GOP. Listen to this. I cut this out. The jumbled GOP field is a stark contrast to the Democratic contest where Hillary Rodham Clinton is strengthening her front-runner status, and it goes on and on. Okay? You get the words, the way the words are meant to really create power, or not, like the jumbled GOP, and then she goes on strengthening Hillary Clinton. But here's what Hillary had to say last night about the Republican GOP debate. She said they are a reality TV show, but the cast of characters are out of touch with actual reality. I submit to you that of the responses I heard last night on the air, from whether it was Donald Trump, whether it was Mike Huckabee, or whether it was Marco Rubio, whether it was Ted Cruz or Chris Christie, all of them were very, very explanatory about what they would do, how it should be done, and how it's going to benefit the American people. And much better than Snow White and the Two Stooges on the Democratic side. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A little bit later on this morning, we're going to have Nick from Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. And he is going to tell us all about how they can help you and me with great exercise programs, sports medicine knowledge, and the hydrotherapy pool. Help us get maybe rid of our aches and pains, or at least start to heal up a little bit better, and help us get back to being ourselves. All you have to do is call Nick or any one of the physical therapists. Make an appointment at 678-1191. That number again, 678-1191. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, absolutely helping you get back to being you. Come on, call me. I want to hear from somebody that watched the debate. Maybe you have a kind of a different viewpoint of what happened last night. And I'd like to hear it. Really, I would like to hear your viewpoint on who you thought did the best job. Now, I'm going to run through this list. And you can call and tell me I'm all wrong. I thought that Dr. Ben Carson was very iffy last night. I thought that he was very hesitant on some of his answers and didn't create a strong showing. I thought that Governor Kasich from Ohio looked more like a frazzled high school principal. I thought Carly Fiorina was strong, but not strong enough. I thought Ron Paul, was he really there? I mean Rand Paul, pardon me. There just wasn't anything from him last night. Jeb Bush, once again, had that deer in the headlights looked shocked, and he almost looked like, what am I doing here? Well, let's go have a Pepsi or something. Donald Trump was belligerent and always on the offense, and I don't think that was his best shining moment last night. Chris Christie, I thought it was his best showing, and I thought he had some great responses to the belligerent moderators. Rubio put the moderators on their back pockets. I thought Huckabee had some great analogies, but he just doesn't have the support. And I thought that Ted Cruz nailed it last night and won the debate. All right, caller, tell me where I'm wrong. Go ahead, you're on the air.
No, I think you're right. I think Ted Cruz is really showing the leadership that he has, the experience, and really put down, I think the big losers last night were the moderators. Because, I mean, he showed how a bunch of doofuses they really were. And, the type of questions they were asking had nothing to do with our jobs, our security. They just had an agenda and they wanted to push that forth. And Ted Cruz and some of the others put them right back in their place and pointed out, how incompetent their questions were and so forth. So,
well, Adrian,
Carson really never got a chance, but he did seem a little hesitant about. Didn't seem as well prepared, or at least the questions he had. And Trump was kind of usually Trump. But the big loser there, I think, was Jeb Bush. I mean, attacking Rubio was just low life, really.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Adrian, hold on a second. I think you just touched on something. I think that Jeb Bush's attack on Marco Rubio last night and basically saying, hey, youngster, you're not showing up for all your votes, and I think that really hurt Bush for this reason. Number one, Obama's track record as a senator far surpasses anybody else's as being the worst on a voting record, as did John McCain's. But I thought the response of Rubio back to Bush was one of, I'm not going to attack you personally, but I am going to look you in the eye and tell you that I'm more qualified to be the president. I thought Rubio handled that as professionally as anyone could.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very true. He did a great job. I'm a little concerned about Rubio's still stand on immigration.
Yeah.
I think that's the one big question I still have. And the other thing that really disturbs me now is that we got Paul Ryan as the speaker, and I'm sorry, but I think this is just a rehash of Boehner 2, I'm really concerned about the leadership and the caving in and not taking a stand like you and I have talked about so many times.
All right, but I will say this, and then I got to get the weather in here. Pardon me, the 8:30 break. But Adrian, I think you've hit everything just right, with the exception of, I think that if you look at each and every candidate standing up there last night at the podiums, 10 GOP members, all 10, regardless of your pick or your selection, were heads and shoulders and are heads and shoulders in intelligence on the issues above Snow White and the Two Stooges.
Well, and one thing I wish all of the Republican candidates would do more of, and they did some of it, is go after Hillary. I mean, good grief. This gal, she's just a consummate liar. And everything, when she opens her mouth, along with Obama, when they open their mouth, they're lying. That's just the way it works.
I agree.
It's really sad.
I agree. Adrian, good analogy. Thank you very much. And I've got to get this next break in. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, take care.
Don't forget our friend, and she is our friend, Dr. Christine Pickup over at Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. And I suggest you write this number down, 312-0957. And she's located at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2 in Rupert. Well, that's basically right across from the Minidoka Hospital Emergency Room. And call for an appointment today for a hearing screening. I think it's very, very important. I'm glad I did. Because she really helped me. And if you've got hearing that is deteriorating a little bit, maybe she can help. I'll tell you, she is really good. 312-0957. Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids. Please call them today. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Also want to remind you at Ramsey Heating and Electric, along with Lennox, offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Call them at 678-0459 and learn how Ramsey Heating and Electric can save you money with Lennox. All right, it's your turn. You know what really surprised me is Boulder, Colorado, the University of Colorado. And it is not exactly a strong fortress for conservatism. Very liberal area, extremely liberal area. But what really surprised me was when, like Rand Paul, pardon me, not Rand Paul, but when I say Ted Cruz, please pardon me on that faux pas. When Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio and Chris Christie made their rebuttals right back in the face of the moderators. The crowd in that room last night absolutely cheered. Some stood up. Some waved their hands. Yes, I thought, there is hope, because they, the audience last night, realized the extreme far-left liberalism that was trying to be portrayed by the moderators and the gotcha questions. And I saw, without everybody holding hands and singing Kumbaya, you could almost see the 10 Republicans on the stage come together in a kind of a circle the wagons attitude against the moderators. And it was like, if you attack any one of us any time again, we're going to come out and get you. That was a great moment last night. Good morning, you're on the air.
Rob?
Yes, go ahead.
I can't hear you.
Well, I don't know what the problem... Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Randy, can you hear me now?
Oh, sorry, Dad. Yes, I can.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
I just didn't want to settle around even if I couldn't hear you. I could still babble. So, last night it was in Boulder, and I don't know if they thought they had control over who was coming, or... You know, because let's face it, Boulder, Colorado is a liberal hotbed. And, you say, well, why the hell would you have had it in Boulder in the first place? Because you're hoping that somehow somebody's going to get up there and defend the moderators. Well, it turns out, hopefully, maybe these students and the people there in Colorado, some of them actually have a little more on the ball than we thought.
I have a tendency to agree with you. I think it's unfair to write off a institution like the University of Colorado as being, that's just a liberal campus, somewhat like some of the eastern campuses, I was really intrigued by some of the answers and some of the responses of some of the people that were in attendance at that debate. But I'll go back to what I said. I think the moderators overplayed their hand. They were betting on deuces, and the Republican GOP contenders had aces and backed them right into a corner. I thought the GOP contenders did a great job of stuffing the three moderators right into a sock.
Well, they did. And this is the thing. See, when we have a guy like Mitt Romney who couldn't do his job the second time around, for whatever the reason, we become conditioned. We become afraid. We think, man, are they going to let these guys kick them in the teeth again or not?
Yeah.
And see what's happened. And it's all thanks to Donald Trump, and then in his own way, Ben Carson. And so, yes, it was a very encouraging debate, and everybody, I thought that Jeb, he's done, and he needs to be done.
I think he did.
That's the point I'm going to hang up. Mitt Romney, who, again, was friends with David Axelrod. If you don't know who David Axelrod is, people, you need to find out. Tweeted last night that Lindsey Graham needed to be on the big stage, and I'm thinking, man, this is the kind of thing we don't need.
Well, the Republican hierarchy, the old guard, the Lindsey Grahams, the John McCains, the McConnells, and all them, I think it'd be really nice to have a big going-away party, buy a big cake, have a room with all the different little papier-mâché items and everything, and let them leave Washington, D.C. gracefully, but get them out of Dodge City. We need to have somebody that's going to go back there and do something.
Well, I think... Well, let's face it, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, even Trump, Carson, let's face it, there's a hell of a lot of talent there.
I agree. Right there, though, Randy, so much more so than what the Democrats are offering. How can anybody in their right mind or their wrong mind or no mind at all look at Hillary and say how she could possibly be a good president? She's a liar. She's a fraud. She's a phony. She's had so much baggage over the years all the way from Arkansas. Do you want her leading you for 4 years? No. And then you look at Bernie Sanders, a socialist with his wild hair and his wild eyes, and all he's concerned about is global warming. And then you got O'Malley, that's a part of the Wax Museum in California. He doesn't know where he is.
Well, this is the thing, this is the lesson that always needs to be learned by conservative Republicans, is that the liberals, wherever they sit, they always band together, because ultimately it's about winning.
I agree, buddy. Thanks for your call.
You bet, Mike.
All right, take care. Thank you. All right, calls are what? What did you think? Honestly, I think Ted Cruz. I'm just going to stand right here. Well, I'm not going to stand here. I'm going to sit here at this chair, and I'm just going to look at this microphone and say, without any doubt, last night, I thought Ted Cruz nailed it. I thought Ted Cruz hit a home run, not only out of the park, but down Main Street. I thought he was the best that he's ever been. Now, that's not to overshadow some of the others. I thought Chris Christie did a good job. I am definitely not a Chris Christie fan. I thought that Rubio did a good job. I thought that there were others that did good jobs, but Cruz stood out. I thought he was heads and shoulders above anybody, including Donald Trump. Donald Trump last night, I don't know, I think he got into an area where his belligerence and his sometimes and many times offensive attitude, when he talked about going bankrupt and using the laws to his advantage, I'm not so sure the verbiage was such that it helped him. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Got to pay some bills, and then I want to hear from you. Come on, give me a call. Don't forget Berry Equipment and Rental. Now, we talk about them every day, and I had a gentleman call me the other day and say, now, wait a minute, I'm not sure where you said they're located in Burley. And I said, right on Highway 30 at 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. And they've got two other locations on Addison Avenue West in Twin Falls and South Lincoln in Jerome, and they definitely have all the equipment that you need to get the job done right. I mean, you're talking about the Bobcat skid steer loaders. Got them. You're talking about the Coyote tractors. Got them. And then those big Doosan loaders. I mean, get in there and go to work. They've got them all the equipment you need to get the job done right. At Berry Equipment and Rental, Twin Falls, Jerome, and 159 West Highway 30 in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Really, really nice people. By the way, I also want to acknowledge the fact that Russ Mallory is running for re-election for the Burley City Council. 4 years experience, knowledge of the issues of facing Burley right now, proven leadership, and honest and a lifetime resident of Burley. And he says he wants to, as one of his goals, keep civility an important part of the City Council in Burley. Next Tuesday, vote for Russ Mallory running for re-election for the Burley City Council, paid for by Elect Russ Mallory Committee. All right, thank you very much. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You know, Hillary sent out a tweet last night, and it had a picture of her showing her just kind of taking her left hand and brushing off her shoulder like it was a brush off like Benghazi during the Senate hearings. And it really offended me. She was asked what she thought of the GOP debate last night, and she just kind of had that on the picture of her brushing off her shoulder like it was nothing. And to me, Hillary acts like one cold fish. Like the Benghazi hearings were, oh, I have a little dandruff on my shoulder, I'll just brush it off. Or the GOP, well, I don't think much of them, I'll just brush it off. She's got this arrogant, inflated attitude. And I just hope and pray that she does not get to be the president. I'm going to have fodder every day on this program to go after her and belittle her. Yes, I'm very prejudiced against her. I do not want, for the sake of my family, the sake of my grandchildren, to have her subject them to her idiocy for even one term. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. By the way, in the World Series game last night, to which I kept changing my channels, going click, 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 back and forth, from the debate back over to the World Series, the Royals take Game 2 and now have a 2-0 lead over the New York Mets as they go back to New York tonight. And the Mets are up against the wall. The Royals are absolutely coming out and going for it. They look like they're real hungry to not repeat the same mistakes they made last year against the Giants. And it looks like I'm going to have to say the Royals could take this thing in 4 games straight, or maybe give up 1 to the Mets and win it in 5. But they look darn good. All right, calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Got to get the weather in here, and the weather's brought to you this hour by some really nice friends, and I cannot wait to get over there. I'm going to try to get over this next week and just kind of browse through their gift shop at Mad River Laser. Caller, stay on the line. Don't hang up. I've got 1 minute of weather. I'll be right there. Mad River Laser at 502 East Street in Rupert with a gift shop, and all the Halloween and fall goodies are there. And, of course, they can make all your business promotional products and your year-end awards for your business. They are phenomenal at Mad River Laser in Rupert. Right now, here quickly is Gina with the weather.
Rain showers and windy. That is going to be the theme for most of the day today. Expect winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Rain showers. Hopefully those are going to be disappearing as we get on into the afternoon, though. High of 52 tonight, the low of 34. Hopefully going to be partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Still a little bit breezy. Winds out of the southwest right around 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting. High of 55 with an overnight low of 45 for Saturday, last day of the month. Partly cloudy and 66. And for Sunday, maybe some more rain showers are going to be in the forecast, the high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Debit the Rain.
Oh, thank you very much, Gina. Excellent forecast, and brought to you this hour by Mad River Laser, right there on the square in Rupert. Wonderful people at 502 East Street in Rupert. Caller, thank you for your patience. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning again, Zeb. I hope you don't mind, but you know, you and I, we always point out the EPA's incompetence, lack of scientific wherewithal, and so forth. But we're not hearing, and it's been buried, the story about the 3 million gallons of toxic waste that went into the rivers contaminated all those rivers in Colorado and New Mexico and so forth, and it pointed out that they knew that there was a real problem there, but instead of doing the right thing and drilling a hole from the top that would relieve that pressure, they said, "Oh, we'll just forge ahead." And of course, the bottom line is, just like the IRS hearings, though, despite all of the incompetence, nobody's going to be penalized, lose their paycheck, lose their jobs because of this incompetence. And this is this kind of stuff that Simpson will not take a stand on. We're not hearing a word about this. These people need to be held accountable. We're paying the taxpayer now that we're paying for the cleanup as well. And so I just wanted your comment on it, because it was total incompetence. It's been reported, the Department of Interior report on that. But have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have, and we're going to do a show on the EPA again this next week. I've got another segment, and we've already commented. We've had segments regarding that spill and the atrocious attitude of the EPA. But I wanted you to quickly, and I mean quickly, because I want to get a short answer on this. Are you aware, as an agronomist scientist, about the study that just came out? And this is what's really phony about this study, Adrian, is that it's by scientists that hardly anybody has ever heard of, and this scientist claims that high CO2 levels in our atmosphere and around us are making people dumber. That's actually the headline that came out. Are you aware of that?
Yeah, I mean, this is the epitome of incompetence. I mean, as we have more CO2, our plants produce more oxygen. If anything, it makes us more intelligent.
Yes.
I think where the dumber part comes is through our education system, where they're bringing this Common Core thing in and dumbing down the students. Our math is just atrocious. It's totally bizarre. And, you know, the pornographic stuff that's being brought in, the literature and so forth. So, you know, they're not... They can make all these claims about CO2. It's not a toxin, folks. It's, if we don't have CO2, we don't have any oxygen to breathe, and we don't have any food to eat.
Yeah, and
plants need about 1,500 parts per million on the average. That's what they would like. So that our plants basically are on a starvation diet, and if we had higher levels, it certainly would be helpful to the planet, and by lowering them actually would be detrimental.
All right, you know, thank you for that answer, but here I'm going to be calling you after the program, and we need to get a program put together, a segment on this, because Al Gore and this nameless scientist, they kind of buddy-buddy, and Al Gore sent him a note saying, "Oh, what a great piece. Boy, it's really showing the negative impact CO2 has on human cognition and decision." I just about fell out of my chair. Adrian, thank you. I'll be in touch because I want to get a program on this.
I mean, these people, they have an agenda, and they just lie. I mean, Gore and company, or just like Hillary and Obama, they lie to forward their agenda.
I agree.
Which is to destroy the American economy.
All right, Adrian.
All about.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Hey, don't forget, Mike Brown wants to be and stay the mayor of Rupert. That's right. He wants your vote next week on November 3rd. And don't forget, Mike Brown, of course, committed to the citizens of Rupert. 23 years a business owner over there, 8 years on the Rupert Police Reserves, 12 years on the Rupert City Council, 4 years served as council president, and, of course, 4 years as mayor of the city of Rupert. He wants to stay right there as the mayor of Rupert. Vote for Mike Brown, and, of course, paid for by the committee to elect Mike Brown, Max Vaughn, treasurer. Did you hear... I'm going to change gears here just a little bit. Did you hear about this girl down in Texas? And I got to get this story over here. But a girl in Texas was in the classroom, and they were having a little quiz from the teacher. She's a 7th grader. And the teacher wanted the students to write down whether God was an opinion, a factual claim, or a commonplace assertion. In other words, they were supposed to write down what they thought, and the teacher told the class that God is a myth. Oh boy. Then it started. This girl, and I praise her, Chantel Woolley, and her daughter, they went right to the top when this teacher saw the paper that her daughter had filled out and said that there is a God. That is an established fact. The teacher got mad in the classroom and started berating the student and saying there is no proof and there's absolutely no God. And she said anyone who said fact or opinion about God being in existence, it's only a myth. And then she started telling the kids that they were completely wrong. And when the kids would argue back that they've been to Sunday school and they have a great faith in God and their church, the teacher told them that they are going to get in trouble. Well, this young girl's mother and the young girl, they didn't mess around. They went right to the school board, and the school board is absolutely got their backs up against the wall with this teacher. And even though the school board said, oh, the teacher is distraught by this incident. Distraught by this incident? Look what this teacher did to those young minds. Look what that teacher did to those young people with faith. And I'm supposed to worry about the teacher being distraught? Are you kidding me? This is another attempt in our school systems. I don't care if it's California. I don't care if it's Texas, which it was, and that surprises me. I don't care where it is, but this hatred and this nullification of our belief in God and our religion through the school systems has absolutely reached a fever pitch. And I'm going to try over the weekend to obtain a number and see if I can't talk to the mom and get her feelings on this. But boy, I applaud her for going right straight to the school board and the superintendent and the principal and slamming her fist down on the desk and say, we're very strong Christians, and how dare this teacher say that God is a myth, and berate my daughter with an F. The teacher gave her daughter an F for that class day because she wrote on her answer, there is a God. And I think it goes necessarily said that Texas Governor Greg Abbott also is standing behind the mom and her daughter and denouncing what the school did. As a matter of fact, the young girl, and she's a very quiet and unassuming teenager, she was on television early this morning, and when she got the paper back with an F marked on her paper from this teacher, she just took and added the letters so that it came up with the word factual. I like that. This girl is thinking. Took the F and turned it into factual for her paper. And God bless this young girl and her mom. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. I had another couple of stories I want to get into. One about Coach Joe Kennedy up in Bremerton, Washington. Another prayer story. He refused to stop praying after the games. After the games. And it was an invited, if you want to come pray, you're welcome to, and if you don't want to, that's fine. Nobody was forced or coerced, whatever, to go pray with him after the games. He got fired. He got fired. There again, another attack on Christianity and our beliefs. Don't forget your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and 7 locations serving you in the Magic Valley with all the tires you need, like the backcountry all-terrain tire from commute to campsite. They'll get you there, I'll tell you. Quiet, comfortable ride, great looks, and road grip. I'll tell you. And I'll be right there, caller. Don't forget to all the best in brake service and shocks and struts, front end alignments, and batteries. Now, it's going to start getting chillier and chillier in the morning, and when you turn that key, you want that battery to go boom, 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 and start your engine. Well, I'll tell you what. Get in there and get your battery checked, and if you need a new one, they've got the best at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. 7 locations, Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family and Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and my buddy Randy on Oberlin in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Caller, I've got exactly a minute. Go ahead.
Okay, real quick. 2 stories about when I was in school over 40 years ago. I had a science teacher who would throw out things like, coyotes are good animals. Well, I was raised on a sheep ranch, and let me tell you, and so he and I would get in fights over things he would say, but he told my mom at a parent-teacher conference, he says, I like to argue with her. She likes to push it because this is science. That's what science is all about. It's, you know, and then I had another teacher, an English teacher, and we were studying Shakespeare, and one of the questions on the test is, what is your opinion of whatever? And I wrote my opinion, because personally I didn't like Shakespeare at the time. And so when I got it wrong, I said, how come I got this wrong? It's my opinion. And he goes, well, that's not what the answer should be. And I said, but you asked for my opinion. Not only did I get thrown out of the class for the day, but I also got a 0 for the day, and my girlfriend, who had nothing to do with it, got thrown out and got a 0 too.
You know, what you're saying is exactly the trend of what's happening today when it comes to religion or God, like in the case of this young girl. Basically, it was an opinion question from the teacher, and when she answered it that there is a God, this teacher berated her and anyone else in the class that said they believed in God, and then called God a myth. It was a direct attack on someone's Christianity and religion, and I'm so glad that people are standing up and saying, no, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, and so, you know, but when the teacher told me to leave the class, I got up and left. I didn't need a police officer to come in and try to physically remove me, but that's a whole nother story.
I like you, lady. You call more often. God bless you. I got to go to the news. Call me again. Thank you so much. Okay. Hey, you're listening to Zeb at the Ranch. Make sure you're hearing everything. Contact Mount Harrison Audiology for a hearing screening. Call 312-0957 today. Got to run to the news. I'll be back in 6. Oh, boy, here we go. You know, it's not that bad a day outside now. It rained a lot last night over here, but horse corrals are a little muddy, but the broken skies now and sun's starting to peek through. It's kind of nice outside. Hey, don't forget our friends at Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. Oh, this is where the fun is sold. Yes, sir, Bobby, they've got the Suzuki 4x4s with great rebates. Get out and enjoy the fall. Oh, the beautiful leaves and the fresh air. And don't forget they've got the snowmobiles and the new Timber Sled snow bikes. Great accessory department and a service department that can fix anything. I'll tell you what, they're the best. Let's Ride, 270 Highway 24 between Rupert and Heyburn. Yep, it's true, where the fun is sold. Really good folks. And when I talk about good folks, naturally, and I mean this in all seriousness, they are so friendly and so helpful at Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert, with Joel Heward, the manager, and of course his family and his staff. And they are there when you need them. And they can also travel to rural towns and churches to help you and your family with the arrangements when there's the passing of a loved one. Always with the highest ethical standards with unquestioned integrity. Remember, Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert, the number 436-5636. Once again, 436-5636. It's time for the Chamber Report, and here's the lovely Kay Cameron. Good morning, Kay. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning, Zeb?
Fantastic on this end of October week. My goodness, what's going on? Trick or treat, trick or treat.
Trick or treat is right. So it is Halloween this weekend, and I just want to give a big reminder to watch out for all the little kids and teenagers and everybody this weekend, because there's going to be kids on all the streets and running, and as much as parents try to teach their kids to always stop and look for cars, we know that doesn't always happen. So please try and be on the lookout for them, and so that we can try and keep everybody as safe as possible.
What are you going to dress up as, little girl?
Oh, well, I've got a couple of ideas. I haven't finalized anything yet. I'm still trying to finalize the finishing touches on my 5-year-old costume.
Okay. It's a fun time, and like you said, they're not going to watch out for the drivers. The drivers have to watch out for them. Please be careful. And by the way, I would also say, Kay, and I think you'd agree with me, that the dark colors on these kids at night, it might look good for the costume, but it's not good for drivers to see, and they need some kind of a reflecting light on some of that clothing.
Absolutely. If they're going to be wearing dark colors, make sure you've got some reflective tape on them or glow. They have all kinds of glow sticks that you can make necklaces and bracelets and stuff on. And even if they're not wearing dark colors, that's always a good idea in the dark for them to be wearing those glow bracelets so that they can be seen easily at night.
Okay. What else is going on with the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, we are very excited. On November 12th, we've got our annual Farmer Business Appreciation Banquet, so we're very excited about that. Looking forward to honoring a couple of great recipients. This year we'll be honoring Mark Newcomb as the Farmer of the Year and Jose Ochoa as the Business Person of the Year, and it's always incredible to learn about all of the things that they do and all of the things that they're involved in. And so it's always an honor to participate in the banquet to honor them.
All right. Now, what about tickets?
Tickets are available at the Chamber office. You can come by and see us or give us a call at 208-679-4793.
Okay.
So if you're interested, yeah, it's a great evening and always a nice way to honor great people.
And it's hard to believe, but we're just days away, if you will, from being involved in the holiday season again for 2015. It just doesn't seem possible.
I know it's next week is my annual board retreat. We do it every year, the first week in November. And I know November always seems to fly by. Thanksgiving is just right around the corner, and really, before you know it, Christmas will be here. It's hard to believe, but it's true. And so there's always a lot of activities and festivities leading up to both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So, yeah, it's just kind of an exciting time of year, and a day like today where it's kind of gloomy and cool, it just feels like fall is here.
Well, I want to tell everybody that Kay and the rest of the crew at the Chamber of Commerce, they are so helpful, and they've got a great gift shop right there. Kay, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you and where you're located.
We are located at 1177 7th Street in Hebron. It's just right on the Snake River. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Come by and see us right there on the river. Find us online at minicasualchamber.com or like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Very good. Kay, the very best. Be safe out there trick-or-treating and have a good Halloween.
Oh, we will. Halloween's fun.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
The lovely Kay Cameron at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce, and I really appreciate her being on the air every Thursday. Don't forget Snake River Auto Body and Paint. Now, I really can give you a testimonial on these folks. I had a great big ding that was put in my pickup by somebody that was careless, and I just absolutely wanted to get it fixed by the best, and I was recommended to go to Snake River Auto Body and Paint, and am I glad I did. Customer service extraordinaire. They really rolled out the red carpet, and let me tell you, satisfaction guaranteed. They are an old town location with old town values in Twin Falls, and believe me, they can take care of it with quality workmanship, get the job done, and get it done right. I highly recommend Snake River Auto Body and Paint, and they're located at 404 4th Avenue West in Twin Falls. The number to call, 734-5790. It is time to go over to the Minidoka Memorial Hospital at 1224 8th Street in Rupert. And, of course, we're going to be visiting with these good folks. And their vision for the Minidoka Memorial Hospital is an independent community hospital dedicated to improving the health and well-being of the Mini-Cassia area. And I'm blessed to have many, many representatives of the hospital on my program because your health is so important. You want to work with the best that care. And that's the folks at the Minidoka Memorial Hospital. And with us this morning, a lovely lady that's going to talk about a Halloween program. Bonnie Sorensen, good morning. How are you?
Hi, Zeb. I'm great. How are you doing?
Well, should I get my costume on now, or what's going on?
Well, we're having our annual Halloween party, and that will be October 31st, Halloween night. And it starts at 6:30 p.m., and it's for children 10 years old and younger.
Well, now, this sounds like a real fun deal, but now, how long has the hospital been doing this for the community? I mean, everybody's invited, aren't they?
Yes, everybody can come. We have been doing this for well over 20 years. I've been here for 18, and I know they were doing it long before I came.
So, give us a little gist of what's going to happen that night at the Halloween party.
Well, the staff pops a lot of popcorn, and the residents help make popcorn balls. So we have lots of popcorn balls to give out to the kids, and we have witch's brew to drink. And also the residents will be giving out candy individually for the kids. Thomas Management, who provides our kitchen services, they make about 500 cookies to give out.
Oh, my. And this is not only for the kids, but it's also kind of a therapeutic action for the people that might be in the nursing home, too. Is that right?
Oh, absolutely. They just love to see the kids come in their costumes, and they really get a kick out of it. They love the children, and they love to give out candy.
Now, tell us exactly the time and how to get there and how long it's going to last and everything else.
Okay, it's at 6:30, and we are on the east end of the hospital. If you go to the east, it's in the East Wing dining room, so you drive on the south side of the hospital on 8th Street, and you go in the east entrance under the sign that says Countryside Care and Rehab, and it's just down the hall to the right. It's real easy to find. We start at 6:30, and we go until the popcorn balls and the cookies and all of that has been given out.
Bonnie, there's more to this than just having a Halloween party. I mean, I kind of stepped into it a few moments ago, but by having these kind of events and everything, it just makes people feel better. And I've maintained for a long time that your health can always be improved with a smile on your face.
Oh, absolutely. Attitude and interaction with each other make all the difference in your health.
Now, does the hospital do quite a few of these different kind of dress up and have fun type parties during the course of the year?
Well, we not so much dress up, but we do have a lot of parties. Our activities department is really awesome. We have cookouts, barbecues. We eat outside. They take the residents on rides all over. They go to the dam, go up to Pomerel, just have a lot of fun.
Well, let me ask you, of the people that I've had on the air so far, and I've had, Tammy Hanks and Carl Hansen and Ray Jensen, you're the fourth one I've visited to. What is the, I hate to use this terminology, but it's really true, drawing card to the Minidoka Memorial Hospital? It just seems like the people care more over there.
We do. The people that work here have been here for a lot of years, and we've not only become friends, we've become family with each other. I mean, we don't have a big turnover, so we're here for the community, we're here long term, and we love our jobs. This is a great place to work, and that reflects on the care we give.
Absolutely. Now, is the room where you're going to have the Halloween party, is it all been doctored up into kind of a spook alley?
Well, we do have some decorations. We don't do too scary because, we've got some of our little residents that don't do well with that, but we do have some decorations, and it's just fun. It looks very Halloweenish.
Oh my! Now, are you going to wear a costume?
I might.
Well, who are you going to go as? Tell me what your costume's going to be.
Well, I usually dress up according to my personality, and so I'm usually a witch.
Now, if you expect me to make a retort to that, you're not going to get one, believe me.
I usually fly in on my broom.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You are the administrator of the Countryside Care and Rehab, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I tell you what, you really sound like a nice lady. And once again, give us the location and the starting time for this Halloween party coming up this Saturday.
Okay, it's in the long-term care section of the hospital, which is on the east side, and just come up 8th Street to the south entrance on the east side under Countryside Care and Rehab at 6:30, and be prepared to eat popcorn balls, cookies, and witch's brew.
Oh, I tell you what. Bonnie, God bless you for all you do over there at the Minidoka Memorial Hospital, and thank you very much for coming on the program this morning.
Well, thank you, Zeb.
All right, you take care. Thank you. I'll tell you, folks, I'm really impressed with these folks over at the Minidoka Memorial Hospital, 1224 8th Street in Rupert. Your health is so important. You want to work with the best that really care, and that's the folks at the Minidoka Memorial Hospital. Number to call for more information, 436-0481, and a great big Halloween party coming up this weekend on Saturday. God bless them. That's fun. I got to pay some bills here real quick. Don't forget Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. Life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, employee benefits, all of this and more with the professionals that really know their business and can help you with yours. Very accessible and devoted, and believe me, dedicated and responsive to your needs. All you have to do is call them at the office number, make an appointment, and make sure you're covered. Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert, 436-4424. You call them today. Thank you very much. And while I have just a moment before we go with our next segment, I also want to remind you about Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox. They can save you money. That's right. They're offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, an air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. All you have to do is give them a call at 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, providing warm winters and cool summers. Now, I want to get this in here real quick, and I really need you to get your entries in today because we won't accept any entries for this contest after noon tomorrow, okay? The game of the week for Denny's Restaurant is going to be between the Blackfoot Broncos and the Minico Spartans at Minico tomorrow night. And I want to urge everybody to send me your selective pick. Who do you think's going to win between Minico and Blackfoot? And what you think the final score will be. So, the winner for a Denny's Grand Slam breakfast will be the winning team and the closest to the final score. Last week, Larry Hudig hit it right on the head. I mean, he had the exact score. And you may win a Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's at 611 Overland and Burley. Oh, Thomas and the rest of the crew, delicious food. And they sponsor, of course, the Denny's High School Football Game of the Week. This week, in the playoff game, it's going to be between Minico and Blackfoot. So send those to my email at zeb@theranch. Those are 4 words. Zeb@theranch. Then the @ hotmail.com. zeb@theranch@hotmail.com. Or you can call them in to my cell phone number at 312-2976. 312-2976. And be sure and get those entered in by tomorrow at noon at the latest, okay, for the Denny's High School Football Game of the Week. Really, really a fun time and a great place to eat at Denny's. Let's not forget, to our friends at Red's Trading Post. And this is an ad that I very, very much adhere to, because I think now more than ever, it's past time for all of us to be able to protect our families and our property. And Red's Trading Post at 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls, with all the firearms from Browning, Beretta, Weatherby, Ruger, Benelli, Smith & Wesson, and Winchester, and all the ammo and all the accessories, and the people that work there, all the knowledge on the safety and how to operate your firearms. Red's Trading Post, 203 5th Avenue South in Twin Falls, in Old Town Twin Falls since 1936. You stop in and see Red's Trading Post today. Where did all these dogs come from anyway? Holy smokes, they're all over the place. Oh, my, it's time for Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Good morning, Officer Mort.
Good morning, Zeb. How are you today?
I am fantastic. What's going on in the world of canines?
Actually, I have nobody to feature today, because everybody that we've got is either currently got a home or I'm still holding for 5 days. I've only got, I think, one that I'm holding for 5 days.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's a little white terrier, female terrier that was running loose over by the Rupert Elementary School on Tuesday.
Okay.
But, I mean, right now and stuff in that, I mean, we're going all out working on the new facility so that we can be ready for our open house on November 10th at 11 o'clock. We'll be doing our ribbon cutting ceremony. We've got the Chamber of Commerce and stuff in it all involved, getting invitations out there. Want to invite the public to come out and look at our new facility before we get moved in and all that, and have a good time.
You know, have you ever wondered and watched some of these ribbon cutting ceremonies where all of a sudden the ribbon never did cut?
I've actually seen some of those. I've been involved in some of those.
It's kind of fun to watch these people take those scissors and go, there's a rat of frats, and they can't get it cut, and then they take a pocket knife and just cut it in half.
Well, we did... when I was in the National Guard and they remodeled the Twin Falls Armory, they did a ribbon cutting ceremony after the remodel over there, and they brought in them big old scissors and had the ribbon stretched out and everything, and they went to try to cut it with those big old scissors, and they wouldn't cut, so they ran into the office, grabbed a small pair of scissors, and hurry and cut it.
Absolutely. Ken, how many dogs will be able to be attended to at this new facility?
I mean, at our current facility, we have 20 kennels. Our new facility will have approximately 51 kennels.
Oh, my.
So, we're going to be over double the capacity. We've got more kennels and stuff in that for some of the bigger-sized dogs, where at the current facility, we've only got 6 large kennels. The new facility, we have got 12 large kennels. So, I mean, we've doubled the size of the number of large kennels we've got. There's a lot of them that are 4 kennels instead of having stacked kennels. We do still have stacked kennels for, like, the quarantining of the puppies and stuff like that needs to be done, because we are really focused on protecting those puppies and keeping them from being able to break with any kind of diseases.
Right.
So we like to quarantine them from all the big dogs so that they've got a little bit more fighting chance while the vaccinations are in their system and trying to get that immune system up.
Well, what about the feed for these animals and the other materials, like, old sheets, blankets, whatever? Do you have enough of that, or are you still looking for that?
We never have enough. We get people that are constantly donating bedding and towels and stuff like that. But especially with the smaller dogs that don't have a lot of hair, you need to make sure that they're up off the ground and got something on that to help keep them warm. And even with a lot of the bigger dogs that are not designed to be in colder weather, because there are a lot of dogs out there that people think, well, it's a dog and stuff, and that it's designed to be in the cold weather. Well, there are a lot of them out there that are not, like your boxers, a lot of your bully breeds. They're need warm area because they don't have the hair and the body fat on that to actually work as insulation for them. So you've got to bring them inside, and your Chihuahuas, your smaller dogs, they're the same way. So we're always looking for blankets. Luckily, in the last couple of years, we haven't had to buy any dog food because we've had some pretty good businesses around our area that have been donating a lot of dog food to us. but we're always still wanting to take dog food because there's times that we get dogs in that have to have a specific kind of dog food that we don't necessarily have. We've had people that have turned around and donated that kind to us, and we've been able to accommodate everything that we have come through our facility.
One thing I want you to touch on real quick, because I've only got about a minute left, is that you, on behalf of Minidoka Animal Control and others that work with you and for you, are looking for people that do not treat their dogs right in the cold weather, and they're out there on a chain, maybe with no protection, no straw bales, anything. That is a crime, is it not?
Yes, it is. And failure to provide subsistence or appropriate shelter for your animal is a misdemeanor in the state of Idaho. And if you are charged in at 3 times within, I believe it's within a year for that, because it falls under animal cruelty. If you're charged within 3 times, that 3rd time it becomes a felony.
Okay. Ken, I admire what you do. You do a great job at Minidoka Animal Control. Officer Ken Mort, an old friend of mine, and I just absolutely salute you, and we'll look forward to talking to you next Thursday.
Sounds great, Zeb, and you have a wonderful Halloween.
I will, sir. Thank you. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Holy smokes, they're all over my desk. They're on the floor. They're everywhere. Bark, 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 bark. Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're going to go to our next guest in just a moment. Don't forget Scows CarQuest Auto and Truck Parts. Scows Incorporated in Rupert, Hayburn, and Burley since 1949. Every detail matters. You know, they've got a Scows CarQuest in Rupert at 323 East 8th Street and Highway 25. Really good folks over there taking care of your vehicles. And then, of course, CarQuest of Burley, excuse me for choking, 518 Overland in Burley, and the Big Scows Truck Center at I-84 exit 211, and they've got the Big Truck Center and also the Mahindra tractors over there. Hey, stop in today. Part sales and service, every detail matters at Scows since 1949. Want to also mention to you that re-elect Mike Brown as Rupert City Mayor. Mike stands up and believes in our veterans and our community. Mike was instrumental in getting the flag at half-staff on the Idaho Roll Call Monument. Let's keep moving forward. Re-elect Rupert City Mayor Mike Brown as mayor. Mike cares. Paid for by Citizens George and Donna Mass. Well, it is time for a lovely lady to come in here, and that's Rita Ramsey. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm real good.
All right. You know where I'm going to go first off this morning, and it happened last evening, the great big GOP debate, 3rd inning, if you will, of the GOP debate, heads up against the second game of the World Series. Which one did you watch?
The debate. But I guess you probably want to know who I think was the biggest loser, right?
No, wait a minute. Let's turn this around. I said first hour, and you may not agree with me, but I said first hour that of all 10, I saw a shuffle in the deck. I saw a change in the power structure, and I thought Ted Cruz won it last night. Go ahead.
Actually, I think that Ted Cruz was the winner in it, and the thing of it is, the part that him being a winner was that he was sticking up for all of the other people.
Yes.
He wasn't saying me, me, me. He was saying, you know what? You guys are asking questions that are not relevant to any of this at all, and you're just trying to make everybody look stupid.
Okay, let's kind of break this down a little bit. And from the get-go last night, from John Harwood all the way across on the 3 that were sitting up there as the moderators, their main intent and their goal, I think, and you tell me if I'm wrong, with their very tainted and far-left questions that were meant to demonize, I thought their main goal was to get all 10 absolutely at each other's throat last night, and it didn't work.
Well, that's absolutely right. And you know that their agenda was the same, because in the early one, they asked questions like, should the day after Super Bowl be a national holiday? And what apps do you have on your cell phone? It's kind of like, for crying out loud, this is a presidential debate. Can you not give them the consideration and ask them pertinent questions? But they had absolutely no intent at all to make this into an information gathering event. They made it into, we're against you, we like the Democrats, we don't like you, and we don't like your smaller government ideas, so we'll just try to do everything we can to derail you, and that's what they tried to do. And thank goodness that we had some people who were smart enough to stand up and say, this is a bunch of crap, and we're not going to go for it.
Yeah, let me ask you this. One thing I noticed last night with the questions, and I kept some information from the Democratic debate with Snow White and the Four Stooges. Now it's dwindled down to Two Stooges. But none of those questions asked last night had any close favor or any close proximity to what they asked the GOP, the Democrats in their debate. It was just absolutely a kind of a attack fest with their questions. Nothing happened like that during the Democratic debate.
Well, it was, and I guess the part that really bothered me is they would say something just like, that one lady said, well, Dr. Carson knew this and knew that and knew the other, and what about this? And it's like, that didn't happen. You must have taken that off of a Democratic site, because none of that's true. And it's kind of like, can they not even do their homework before they start asking or making accusations?
Well, I want to go through the list here, and I want you to grade each and every one, and I want to see how close you come to me, okay? I thought that Dr. Ben Carson last night on certain questions about his tax plan was very iffy and hesitant. What were your thoughts?
Actually, I thought he was. I thought he could have been construed to be a little iffy, but he's pretty sure of it, and what he said was true. His personality is not just big and bold, and I think that's where it was the delivery more than anything else, that he just didn't deliver like, Ted Cruz getting up there and saying, this is the way it is, or Chris Christie saying, you know what, this is what needs to be happening. So I think it was more his personality just being a little bit less bold.
Okay. John Kasich, governor of Ohio. My personal opinion was that he looked like a frazzled high school principal that didn't know which room to run into.
I thought that was a good description, because he did look like it was kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that everybody isn't taking in what I'm saying, and now what am I going to do?
Why does he always look in his clothing, his suits, like somebody had just rolled him down a bowling alley?
That's what really kind of bothers me. I've always been taught that when you wear a white shirt and a tie and a suit jacket, you look like your leadership. And when they start wearing these real casual things, or they unbutton their shirt, or they don't have on a tie, or even when they have colors, it's kind of like, that just isn't leadership looking.
Yeah.
And so he just never looks like he's leadership. When you see him out on the trail, you see him, he's got a plaid shirt on, and it's unbuttoned at the top, and he just kind of looks like one of the guys that just came in out of the wherever. And it's like, do you not want to look leadership?
Yeah.
So with me, it's kind of like, I think their appearance, leaves a lot to be what we think they are.
I agree. Now, Carly Fiorina, I said that she looked and sounded strong, but not strong enough.
I think that you're right. A lot of the things that she says is the same things over and over, and yet what she's saying is absolutely true. And so I think she might be just trying to stick with one main thing so that it's not confused with 18 other things that she might have focused on. So I kind of wonder if she isn't just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to kind of focus on this small little area, and that's what I'm going to really, really accentuate, is that this is my stand, and this is what it is.
All right, now the next person, I have to say, oh, gee, was he really there last night? I didn't notice. Rand Paul.
Yeah, Rand was a little bit kind of in the background, and he hasn't gathered a lot of support, and I still like a lot of the things that he stands for. But he is just, he's kind of faded into the woodwork, really.
Okay, now we're going to get down to the final five or six. Here we go. Jeb Bush. After his attack on Marco Rubio last night and the excellent rebuttal from Rubio back to him, there he was again with that deer in the headlights look on his face.
Yeah, I kind of think that Jeb Bush was the biggest loser last night, because the things that he was saying about Rubio and against Rubio were quite petty. And the way that Rubio answered him is saying, you didn't have any problem with anybody else running as president when they were senators. Why all of a sudden is it me? It's just because I'm running against you. Well, I think that it was so petty that it just made him look petulant and silly.
All right, now Donald Trump. Donald Trump, of course, went in some polls in first place, and in others it was Dr. Ben Carson. But last night, again, that's part of his persona, belligerent and always on the offense, always on the attack. But when the question came up about his bankruptcies, I think he elaborated too much and was belligerent to the point where he used the law for his favor. I think that hurt him last night.
Actually, I think that's true, because if you take a look at the principles that Republicans generally stand for, it's less government and being personally responsible and those kinds of things. And bankruptcy doesn't enter into people's way of, well, this is the way that you solve it. And I understand that people have to go and take out bankruptcy because of certain things that have happened. But let me just tell you, as a business person, we've been on the other end of a lot of bankruptcies over the years, and it really hurts, and it really hurts bad. And how do you ever reclaim that? I mean, we had a $250,000 bankruptcy that they took out on us, and we had the money borrowed at the bank, and we literally had to cash in our retirement plans to pay for that. And they went off just scot-free, leaving us hanging with $250,000. And yet, I guess we could have said, well, da-da-da-da-da. But, the person who's taking out bankruptcy, it's, you're trying to get out from under a bad deal for you. But what about everybody that left hanging? And that's more Republican principles is, you know what, you have to be personally responsible, and you don't just lay it out and let other people take the hit for it.
Absolutely.
So I think that could be, a lot of people looking at it going, hey, if he doesn't care about taking out bankruptcy, what kind of, integrity does he have?
I totally think you nailed it. That's exactly the way I took it last night. Chris Christie has not been one of my favorite people. I really, I don't know, there's something about him. There's something about the way he is and how he acts. But I got to tell you, last night I thought was his best showing in front of national TV cameras. And when the moderators brought up the insane thought about fantasy football and everything, he leaned on the podium and he just nailed it when he said, "Are you kidding me? Here we're talking about ISIS and everything else that's ready to destroy the world, and you three want to talk about fantasy football?" I think he hit a home run way out of the park last night on that.
Well, I do too, and I think this is why a lot of people like him, and I wouldn't mind him as president, except that he's quite progressive and he's a big spender, and he is like the inside for the Republicans. But, for him to mention, and this is a quote, he says, "We have $19 trillion in debt, we have people out of work, we have ISIS and Al-Qaeda attacking us, and we're talking about fantasy football. Can we stop? Enough about it. Who cares?" And I think he makes some good points, and he also brought up a lot of good points about Social Security, and even though there's a few of the things that it kind of makes people just a little squeamish about, at least he's telling the truth. There has got to be some changes made, and they've got to be made right now so that the people coming up in 20 years from now still have something to retire on. And I like the fact that he says, you know what, it's not going to be the people right now that's promised to, but people like my age that have 20 years to make some changes and start doing some stuff. If we don't make some changes to Social Security within 7 years, it's broke. In fact, it probably is broke earlier than that.
Very true. Now, Mike Huckabee. I like Mike Huckabee. I really do. I've read his books, and I like Mike Huckabee. I like his analogies. I like his good old boy attitude. He said some things last night that were absolutely sterling true. but he's never going to get the support because he's too much of a good old country boy.
Well, I think that's true. He's also an insider, and he's quite progressive. He had a ton of tax increases while he was the governor, and that's, I think, one reason why he hasn't been able to get a lot of Republicans behind him is because he's kind of like, well, we'll just kind of go along, and he is a nice guy, and I think that his forte is like on Fox with a TV show that he had. He was excellent with that. I like his, when he did his radio spots. So I think those are the kinds of things that he really shines on, and that's where he needs to be.
All right, now Marco Rubio, this is the one that was really, I think it intrigued me. Number one, when Bush attacked Marco Rubio and tried to almost treat him like a student that has to stay after school and get penalized, Rubio's answer was so professional, and it was so right to the point and poignant about what he could do. And then when he was attacked by the moderators over his tax plan, and they found out that John Harwood was wrong, one of the moderators was dead wrong and tried to lie and cover it up, Rubio pinned him down and showed that he was wrong. He really elevated himself last night.
Yeah, I thought Rubio had a really good night with the debate. I'm still not really behind Rubio because he's one of those guys that when he got into the Senate and the gang of 7 came and said, let's make it a gang of 8, and he said, okay. It was kind of like, do you really have to go to somebody so that you can, get in with the in crowd, or does it mean that much to you? Or are you willing to stand up like a man and say, you know what? I came here, and this was one of the big hot issues, and I'm not going to jump in bed with you on it. But he did. He just jumped right in bed with them and decided that amnesty was a good deal, and I would still have a hard time. He'd be okay for me if he ended up the one. But I think there's some others that'll stand up against the opposition a lot better than he could.
All right, last man, Ted Cruz. And I'll tell you what, he was so smart last night when he jumped in at the moderators' stupid questions, and he stood up and circled the wagons for all of the GOP contenders up there. And what he did by doing that was not only put the moderators in their place, but by unifying all the GOP contenders behind him, they wouldn't dare say anything negative about him the rest of the evening. I thought he nailed it, and I thought he came out number one last night.
I do too, and I heard somebody this morning giving a little analysis of it, and they said that he actually has an audiographic memory, which means he can remember everything that he hears. And they went through all of the things that he said, when he started in saying, you asked so-and-so this, and you asked such and such that, and this and that and the other. He gave every single one of the things in the exact order that they were given, and the words that he used were exactly the words that the moderators used as they were doing it. And he is so excellent. And then the point was brought up, wouldn't you like to have somebody like him that could remember everything and be right on point sitting across the table from people like Putin when they're trying to come up with a deal of how we keep America safe?
Absolutely. Rita, stay right by the phone. I've got to get a weather forecast in here, and the weather's brought to everybody this hour by Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. 438-2485 and 431-8733. All the trimming and pruning and removal of your tree limbs right now before Old Man Winter might put one of those right through the big bay window. Make sure that your trees are all trimmed and pruned. And make sure that your sprinkler systems are all blown out so they don't freeze up this winter. And oh boy, are you going to have problems next spring. Hey, get a hold of them today. Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. 438-2485 or 431-8733. Here's Gina with the weather.
Rain showers and windy. That is going to be the theme for most of the day today. Expect winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Rain showers. Hopefully those are going to be disappearing as we get on into the afternoon, though. High of 52 tonight, the low of 34. Hopefully going to be partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Still a little bit breezy. Winds out of southwest right around 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting. High of 55 with an overnight low of 45. For Saturday, last day of the month, partly cloudy and 66. And for Sunday, maybe some more rain showers are going to be in the forecast, the high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Debit the Rain.
Gina, thank you very much. Brought to everybody this hour by some really good folks. Scott Gano and his landscaping and sprinkler service. Contact them at 438-2485 or 431-8733. We're on the phone with Rita Ramsey and kind of giving an overview of what happened in round 3 of the GOP debate last night. Now, I want to shift and go over to the other lane right now, the left lane with Hillary and the so-called Democrats. What did you think about the way that she treated the GOP debate with that kind of brushing dandruff off her shoulder that she did during the Benghazi hearings? What did you think about that?
Well, I think that she is so pathetic, it just makes me cringe. I thought it was really quite interesting. She says, I have 2 words for every single candidate in tonight's Republican debate. Watch out. And it's like, really? I think she's pathetic. She is just grasping for straws, trying to change the narrative from them to her and how wonderful she is, and actually accentuate how the media treated her, which was they treated her like she's Queen Hillary, and the others like they have no business even being in the ring.
Rita, in your circle of friends, and I honestly have not found anyone that I talk to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people every week. I can't find, I'll bet you less than 1% have ever said they would favor Hillary as President of the United States. What are you hearing out there in your circle of friends?
Well, the people that I have acquaintances with, none of them like Hillary. They think that she's, that she's just one of those people that you would never want to have. She makes you cringe when you hear her talk. But, I heard quite an interesting analysis over the weekend, and somebody said, if you stop and look at it, who's the father of the Democratic Party right now? It used to be the Clintons. It's not the Clintons anymore. It's the Obamas. And you know darn good and well that the Obamas don't want Hillary to be president. And so it's almost like you're just waiting for something to come down through the Justice Department to put her out of play. And all of a sudden they'll put in who they want, which this particular person said, I still think that they're going to slip Biden in there. And if you remember when he said he wasn't going to run, he said, well, for now. He didn't say, this debate or this electoral thing. It was like for now, and so it was kind of almost like he was leaving the door open. And so I think there's a lot of people out there that are kind of thinking that something's going to come around and going to smack her in the head and say, you're not going to be in here anymore. And I would hope that maybe that would happen, but I just don't know that there are very many people that would want her. But it's like, well, I'm a Democrat and I'm going to vote for Hillary if she's the one that I have to vote for.
Yeah, but how in the world could anybody, I'm really curious about this, if you are going to be the next network that's going to have the Democratic debate and you tell your ad people to go out and sell ads for that debate, why and how? Who in the world would want to waste their money, like I said earlier, on Snow White and the Two Stooges? It's a slam dunk. O'Malley and Bernie Sanders, they're just standing up there filling out some suits. That's all they're doing. This is a slam dunk, unfortunately, for Hillary.
Well, it really is, and right now they're just bowing to her because I think they want to stay alive. I think that they kind of figure if they do much attacking or anything else that they might be having a funeral or something. So I just think that they're doing it just for their own preservation and not because they really think they have any possibility of winning. But and maybe the Democrats put them out there so that she had a little bit of competition that it looked like, and then they could just streamline her through. It's hard to say.
All right, real quick, I've only got a couple of minutes left. Paul Ryan today probably will take over as Speaker of the House. Old teary-eyed, handkerchief in his hand, John Boehner is gone. What are your thoughts?
Well, Paul Ryan is, I think, the same as we had before. He might be a little bit younger and he might not be quite as emotional, but I don't think that we've made any changes. And to prove it was them just voting on the unlimited spending budget for the next year and a half. They voted on it. They voted for it. He voted to do that. And it's really sad to think that they went ahead and did that. And the other thing that makes me mad about that whole thing is this is unlimited spending. They don't care that we are so in hock up to our necks. Let's just keep doing more. And then right here in our own state, Simpson cancels out Labrador's vote on that. Simpson should have voted against it. It wouldn't have made any difference, but it would have showed that he was doing what his constituents would have wanted, and that's to vote against it. Instead, he votes for it because he's going to be one of the guys that goes along, and he is supported by all of the big people in Washington, and he's in their pocket.
Absolutely. Real quick, Rita, give me your top 3 debaters for the GOP that you think absolutely are going to stay there all the way through and possibly make the most realistic bid for the presidency.
Actually, I think it's going to be Cruz and Carson and probably Rubio.
And you think Trump's going to falter?
I think the way that, I don't know, one day Trump in and one day Trump out, I don't know. I think that the way his personality is, it's kind of like, I want to bow out of this before I'm shown as the real loser. And I think that he may just bow out of it. That's just me, I don't know.
Okay, and what's going on with the Tea Party real quick, 30 seconds.
Well, at our next Tea Party meeting, we're going to have Elizabeth Hodges come and give us a report on the Liberty thing that the kids went to in the summer. It's I can't even remember the name of it now. I just went blank. But anyway, she's going to give us an overview, and we have a video that Sheriff Heward gave us on the border that we're going to watch. And so it would be good to have everybody there and kind of get a little bit of a feel for what's going on at the border, and this was something that he thought was worth our watching.
All right.
To look at it.
Rita Ramsey, a dear friend, thank you. Excellent job this morning, Rita. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Okay, thanks, Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Wonderful, wonderful, nice lady right there, and I appreciate it. Oh, I love this part of the program on Thursdays. Why do I love this? Because I'm going to talk about food, and I'm going to talk about some great places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. I am. How about Taco Bandito 2301 Overland and Burley? The pumpkin empanadas are there. Fall is there. Taco Bandito, pumpkin empanadas, and of course, the steak and chicken burritos and the breakfast burrito. Oh, they're good. They are so delicious. Everything is great at Taco Bandito. The coffee's always on, 2301 Overland in Burley. Let's head on over to Steve-O's at 290 South 600 West of Heyburn. Food made the way you love it. I'm telling you what, they've got the fresh hand-cut fries, steak fries, regular fries. Oh my goodness, and they've got the hand-patted hamburger patties made daily with love. And don't forget the Steve-O's nacho fries topped with cheese and jalapeno peppers. All of this and all the great menu items at Steve-O's, 290 South 600 West of Heyburn. Burgers, etc. They've got 2 locations, 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 Overland in Burley. Oh my goodness. Corn dogs, burritos, pumpkin milkshakes. Those are really, really good. And all the delicious burgers. And every Sunday at the Burley location, a shrimp dinner special. Nice people, helpful people serving you at 2 locations of a delicious place to go. Burgers, etc. in Rupert and Burley. I'm just drooling. I'm so hungry. And don't forget, last but not least, the AC Drive-In at 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, that chicken fried steak sandwich. Have you had that? Oh, it's fantabulous. And, of course, all the combo meals and the famous Farmer Brown burgers and the fries with the special sauce. Oh, my. All the milkshakes, including the pumpkin milkshakes. They can make them all. It's absolutely delicious. You're going to thank me for sending you over there. AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. And all of these great places can help you when you're hungry and starving to death. Oh, my, I am, too. Hey, coming up next hour, we've got Cassia County School Days. We're going to be talking to teacher Becca Tadioka. And then our business salute at 10:23 is going to be with Nick over at Burley Physical Therapy. And then at 10:32, we're going to be talking about the bond levy at Minidoka County Schools. And that's with Dr. Ken Cox. And I'll let him introduce the others that will be with him at the studio. So we'll have that coming up later this hour. Hey, take care. I'll be back in 6 minutes. Don't go away. Zeb at the Ranch. All righty, here we go. Hour number 3 on kind of a cloudy and windy and a little bit wet, rainy Thursday. Good morning. Zeb at the Ranch, and I'm Zeb Bell. Thank you very much to our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, and all of our great advertisers, including Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Oh, my. Let's see where we're at right here. Oh, let's not forget the Chadwick Sports Grill at 139 West Main in Burley. What are they having for a special today? I love this one. I love this one, and I love the food. Sweet and sour meatballs over white rice with veggies and super salad. This is good. It's good old roll up your sleeves and enjoy lunch. Sweet and sour meatballs, along with all the other great menu choices at the Chadwick Sports Grill, 139 West Main in Burley. You stop in and see them today. Hey, don't forget, like we've been telling you, vote Mike Brown next Tuesday for mayor of Rupert. He is committed to the citizens of Rupert and wants your vote to continue on as mayor. He has lived in this area for a long time, Rupert resident since 1963, and 4 years served as council president, 12 years on the Rupert City Council, and 4 years as mayor, and he wants to continue that trend of being the mayor for you. Mike Brown for mayor of Rupert, paid for by the committee to elect Mike Brown, Max Vaughn, treasurer. Also want to mention to you that Russ Mallory is running for re-election for the Burley City Council. 4 years experience, knowledge of the issues that are facing Burley, and proven leadership. Yep, lifetime resident of Burley, and he wants to see a continuation of our law enforcement contract with Cassia County. Don't forget next Tuesday, vote for Russ Mallory, running for re-election for Burley City Council, paid for by the Re-elect Russ Mallory Committee. Okay, let's see where we're at here. My goodness, I got to get everything taken care of on my paperwork, and I think what we're going to do is start telling you a little bit about, the football game. Don't forget the football game. Get your predictions on the winning team and the final score. Closest to the final score in the winning team is going to win a Grand Slam breakfast from Denny's at 611 Overland in Burley. And the game this week is going to feature a playoff game between Blackfoot and Minico. Blackfoot and Minico. Get those in right away to me on my email at zebattheranch@hotmail.com. Zeb at the Ranch, then the @ hotmail.com, and then also you can send those on my cell phone at 312-2976. Get those in today for the Denny's Game of the Week to possibly win a free Grand Slam breakfast. It's time for Cassia County School Days, and we are blessed with the sponsorship of Cassia County School Days because it involves two different business entities. A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and all the items for the wee ones, including all the Grandparents' Day with 10% discount on purchases every Tuesday. My goodness, all the books, all the games, all the clothing, everything at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley. And Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. The number to call and check out how they can save you money on your surgeries, whether it's a life-saving colonoscopy, knee, hand, and foot surgery, whatever, 677-8888. Ambulatory Surgery Center and A Child's World, bringing you school days in Cassia County. Right now, we'll go to the phone lines, and I don't want to mispronounce her name, and I want her to say yay or nay. We say good morning to an English teacher at Burley High School, Becca Tadioka.
Yay, that was very good.
Well, I tried. I've been up since 3 o'clock this morning working on it.
Well, you did very well. Thank you.
How long have you been teaching at Burley High School?
Well, I just started my 11th year here.
11 years?
Yeah.
And you're still there? Nobody's tried to run you out of town on a rail or anything? Good heavens, you must be good.
I don't know about that, but I'm pretty tough.
Okay.
I stuck around. The poor children have had to put up with me this long.
Becca, where are you from originally?
Well, I was born and raised in Indiana, and then when I was about 17, my parents moved me out here to Idaho, and I ended up graduating high school from Highland.
Okay.
In Pocatello.
Well, one of my best friends lives back in Indiana at Indianapolis, and you're the advisor for the senior projects. Now, explain that to me a little bit.
Okay, well, here at Burley High School, we've just begun this program where the senior students are doing project-based learning, and they pick a project from a following category, either career, service, academics, or performance. And then they have to write a research paper on a facet that is related to that project, and then they will continue on with the actual project, a hands-on piece, with the help of a mentor in the community and with their parents' permission. We're trying as much as we can to involve parents and community into this project, and we have great hopes for it.
Okay, now, has this been something that has occurred every year at Burley, or is it a new idea?
Well, it's kind of something that has been morphing here at Burley High School. Since I have been teaching here, we have always done a big research paper and then presented it in front of a committee. And that seemed a little bit difficult for a lot of the students. And I really felt like after having some time with our tech and with our tech programs here at the Tech Center, that project-based learning was really a good way to go. And so, like the rest of the high schools in our district, we decided to go ahead and change to that project-based learning. So it's kind of been a slow process for us, but we are getting there.
Okay, now, Becca, really, honestly, what's the purpose of having a senior project like this? What do you hope to accomplish?
Well, I hope these students really are able to take the things that they learn in the classroom and actually apply them to something real, to something that's service-based for the community, that maybe exposes them to a potential career down the line, the kinds of things that everyday folks do every day, rather than have a separate learning environment that maybe they don't always see the validity for it.
Okay.
And, so the kids are actually seeing how writing and how math and how science can actually fit with real-life applications.
All right, now here you go. Here's a typical senior. I'm a senior. I don't want to mess around with that kind of a project. I'm just going to loaf and enjoy my senior year till they open the door and throw me out of here. How do you get them inspired for this?
Well, a senior might feel that way, but I would guess that most of them are pretty excited to actually do this hands-on learning, and I'll tell you why. A lot of our students do come to school because of our electives for ag, for the tech center, for our business programs, even foreign languages. I'm pretty sure most of them don't come because of my English class. And so we want to make sure that it's a positive experience, so that the things that maybe that they're doing in the ag program, they can bring that over into English and work together with us.
Okay.
And be excited about coming to school and exploring the topics that excite them instead of things that we kind of artificially push on them.
Okay.
And, you know, I have to say, so far in the process, the kids have been pretty excited about this, and I've been really pleased with how it's been going.
All right, Becca, give us some examples of the good, the bad, and the ugly on some of these projects. Tell us about some of them.
Well, some that come to mind, I had one student who, he's over at the Tech Center, and he tried to get a loan
to get a classic car because he would like to restore it as his project at the Tech Center and also work it into his senior project. What better way to learn the processes of banking and what it takes to get a loan? Unfortunately, he was denied the loan, but that was a huge learning experience for that student. He's still continuing on with the project. He was able to still find a way to get the car. He's still going to continue down that path with the car. So in the process of doing that, he was able to learn much more than I could have ever teach him by a research paper. He did that on his own.
Absolutely.
And that was an amazing experience. It didn't turn out the way he wanted, but it was an amazing experience for him. I have students who are conducting experiments. I have one who's exploring the processes of the placebo effect, and she's going to get volunteers to experiment on. And she's actually going to apply the principles that she's learned from science teachers and in her research. And I think that's fantastic. She's doing more of an academic. We have a lot of kids who are doing service projects, whether it's dental health in the elementary schools or clinics, sports clinics at junior highs and elementary schools. For the most part, the kids have been able to come up with some fairly creative ideas. I heard of one girl who's going to teach guitar lessons at the junior high and have a little concert. And she's never taught before, and so she's learning all kinds of new things.
You know, Becca, I will say this, and I want you to elaborate on it, but I think it is high time. Now, this is my own prejudiced opinion. I think it's high time that schools started teaching more about life and what really happens in life instead of where education is headed for the last 20 years. I think they've got off track, and I think they need to teach more about life so these kids can hit the sidewalk of running when they graduate.
I agree. I do want to give them the tools to be better community members. It only will help our community in the long run if we can do this. And I have to give a plug to our great administrators who have been behind us. Levi Power, Andrew Ray, and Kit Kanakoa have been instrumental in getting this change for the students. They've been focused on what's really important in our education, and I appreciate and applaud them. And also, I've had a lot of help from Jody Adams. She's the other senior English teacher here at Burley High School, and without her help, this wouldn't have gotten off the ground. And as you can imagine, our tech teachers, Lex Godfrey out in the Ag Department was instrumental in helping me get this together. So there's a lot of people here at the high school in this district who really do agree with you on that and really want to see our students get the skills to become better community people.
One last thought here this morning, Becca, before I let you go. I would imagine, and again, I'm making a supposition here, but I would imagine that some of the community business leaders are very approachable on some of these projects and really feel flattered if somebody asks them to help.
I would agree with that. As you know, Linda Peterson is on our school board, and as we presented this to the school board, she was very excited, and I think she was hoping to get a list of names of community leaders together that kids could use as mentors. And we have great support. I think the community is ready for this and looking forward to it. And hopefully our students will live up to those high expectations that everybody has from them because they are very capable of being great.
Becca, you did a very nice job. Now you can take a deep breath and let it out. You don't have to be nervous anymore. You did a fine job.
Well, thank you. Can I do one last plug?
Yes, you can.
Okay, for Burley High School. Dusty Fisher is our choir director here at the school, and he is doing his Bel Cantos dinner show this weekend. I would love the community to come and support us on that. They are having a dinner on Friday night, and I think it starts at 6:30. And then instead of a dinner Saturday night, they're going to do a matinee at 1 o'clock Saturday.
Okay.
There are still tickets available. The kids put on the show. It's a wonderful time, and it's a good meal. So We'd love to invite the community to Burley High School. Anytime you want to be here, that's great. Community is always welcome at the high school.
Well, there you go, folks. English teacher at Burley High School. I'm going to say the name again and see if I can hit a home run twice in a row. Becca Tadioka, thank you. God bless you for being on the program.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you. There you go. Very interesting about senior projects. I love it. I think that's great. And brought to you this morning, of course, Cassia County School Days by A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley and the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. The number to call 677-8888. Thank you very much. I got just a minute here, and I want to get through some public service announcements real fast. Coming up on Saturday, November 7th, don't forget the Veterans Helping Veterans. This is a fundraiser spaghetti dinner and raffle to raise money to help veterans, sponsored by the Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association, Veterans Helping Veterans chapters out of Twin Falls, Burley, Rupert, and Idaho Falls. It's going to be Saturday, November 7th at the River Christian Fellowship Church in Twin Falls, and the time of the dinner is going to be 5 and go till 7, and the time of the raffle 7 p.m. Try to be there for that. Also, the Cover Crops Tour is going to be held, and this is going to be on, Zeb lost it. There it is, Wednesday, November 4th next week, starting at 8:30 in the morning, and it is going to include visits to fields implementing cover crop practices and followed by a Dutch oven lunch. The tour and the lunch are free, but please RSVP to Doreen at 878-5556. Bus seating is limited. And then, don't forget, to the second annual Pilgrim Pride Dinner at the Golden Heritage Senior Center, 2421 Overland Avenue in Burley on November 19th, starting at 5 p.m., going to 7:30 p.m., $10 per ticket, and the proceeds going to the Meals on Wheels. Lots of door prizes, lots of fun. Don't forget, on November 19th. Woo! There we go. Got that done. Now, let's see where I'm at here. And another reminder about our friends with Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, offering rebates on qualified Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will enjoy the comfort. Don't forget Ramsey Heating and Electric and Lennox, saving you money. Whoa, right now, let's get on the telephone. He's waiting, and he's chafing at the bit. Here we go with our friend Nick Greenwell over at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. How are you this morning, sir?
Well, Zeb, how are you?
Well, I'm getting stiff and old and sore, and that's why I got to get back over to Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. You guys need to help me.
We're here waiting with open arms, man.
You know,
can't help you get any better looking, I can tell you that.
Well, that's so nice of you to say, Nicholas. Thank you very much. Let's talk a little bit about aches and pains and what to do about it. Now, what about arthritis, Nick? Is that something that is just going to get worse and worse and worse, or through exercises or whatever, can it be at least stopped or slowed down?
You know, there's a certain amount that we can do to kind of help treat the symptoms that come along with arthritic changes. You know, most of us have that as we age. Obviously, some are more genetically predispositioned to have it worse than others, but we do see lots of folks that do have arthritis, and you know, through gentle being the key word in that, gentle exercise and lubrication of the joints and stimulating the muscles and just creating some stability around those joints can definitely decrease the amount of pain that we suffer from arthritis, and actually, you know, improve our overall function and our ability to kind of just do those daily things that we want to do, whether it's playing with our grandkids or continuing to work, or, you know, just being able to do recreational activities.
You know, Nick, a lot of people like myself, being on the crutches and doing a lot of activity and lifting weights and roping and everything, both of my shoulders at the rotator cuff are just really in bad shape. Is there something that can be done through exercise and sports medicine that might be able to help, instead of always thinking the surgery route right away?
Yeah, definitely. In fact, it's a huge thing of what, probably the number one thing that we treat here in our outpatient orthopedic office in Burley are rotator cuff issues, and that doesn't always mean post-operative or, you know, after surgery. A large majority of what of the patients that we see that have rotator cuff issues, we see in an effort to try and prevent that surgery or just, again, improve overall function and minimize the pain there so we can kind of continue to go on. But, yes, there's a lot to be said about rotator cuff rehab. There's a lot of research being done right now, and we've all gone to some recent courses to kind of see what's new out there. And it all seems to be about, muscle balancing and making sure that the shoulder blade muscles are working the way that they should to create optimal biomechanics in the shoulder. And again, just trying to maximize the efficiency of the rotator cuff and minimize any, it's called impingements, where the rotator cuff gets pinched between the collarbone and the shoulder blade and the humeral head. And if we can, if we can isolate those muscles and make them as efficient as possible, and get the shoulder blade doing what it should do, most of the time that pain can be minimized and we can avoid surgery.
Let me ask you this question. Well, first of all, it's a statement and then it's a question. I noticed after I had the knee surgery a year and a half ago that a lot of the atrophication of the muscles took place around the knee area and the leg area in general. And, boy, you get to be old like me, like an old warhorse, and then all of a sudden it's a little bit tougher to try to rejuvenate. Are those muscles, once they start to atrophy, are they beyond hope, or what can happen?
No, not necessarily. Again, everybody's made up a little bit differently. Our bodies are composed a lot differently. But most of the time, if we isolate the right things and do it in the right manner, not overly aggressive, we can start to stimulate those muscles and regrow some of that tissue to a certain extent, and just create a little bit of stability. And usually stability helps decrease pain.
Now, Nick, what about your staff? I've always commented and complimented you on an excellent physical therapy staff. You have people there that are really hard to beat.
Well, maybe I'm biased, but I tend to agree. We do have a very good staff. And not only are they very good clinicians in that they, stayed up on the research, and we do our continuing education, and they put together a very good individualized treatment approach. But it's a very social profession. We get to know our clients very well as we see them, multiple times per week for sometimes months on end. And I really think they do a good job of trying to develop and maintain those good interpersonal relationships with our patients, and are very positive and goal-oriented. And I think that makes a big difference in that, it's not so monotonous and mundane to come in. We kind of keep a little bit of a more lighthearted atmosphere here because, physical therapy isn't fun sometimes. It hurts, and, if we can make it somewhat of an enjoyable experience as they're here to get their treatment, I think people appreciate that. What's
the best way, Nick, to get an appointment with you? I mean, do they have to go through a doctor referral, or can they call the office direct? What's the best way?
In Idaho, we are lucky enough to have what we call direct access, meaning that you do not have to have a physician's prescription or referral to come and see us. However, unfortunately, in today's day and age, insurance companies seem to rule the world, and most insurance companies will not cover physical therapy unless it's ordered by a physician or a chiropractor or a dentist or a nurse practitioner or a PA or something like that. So we always encourage people to run that through their medical provider to where they will have some assistance with the cost of the therapy.
All right. 678-1191, the number to call. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. You just heard it from the head man, Nick Greenwell, physical therapist and the head of this operation, and I absolutely salute them. They do a wonderful job, and I'm going to be starting back there again this next week. Nick, God bless you, man. Great job this morning.
Hey, take care, Zeb. Have a happy Halloween.
I will. I'm dressing up. What are you dressing up as?
Well, I think I'm gonna dress up as a ruggedly handsome physical therapist.
Boy, that'd be a change for you.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll dress up in whatever my wife puts me in. I just do what I'm told.
All right, my friend. Smart man. Thank you very much, Nick Greenwell. Appreciate it. Burley Physical Therapy, you bet. Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley, helping you get back to being you. We're going to take a little break for a couple of minutes. Be right back. Don't go away.
And now Now, back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb Bell.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to the last half hour of our program this morning. And I want to remind you again, next Tuesday, Election Day. Don't forget, Russ Mallory wants your vote for a re-election for the Burley City Council. Knowledge of the issues that are facing Burley, proven leadership, and, of course, a lifetime resident of Burley. And he wants the continuation of our law enforcement contract with Cassia County. Don't forget, next Tuesday the 3rd, vote for Russ Mallory for re-election for the Burley City Council, paid for by the Russ Mallory Committee. Let's go over this time to our main studios of K-Bar, and sitting in the conference room right now, I'd like to say good morning to a gentleman that called me the other day and wanted to get on the show and talk about the school district levy for Minidoka County, and that's Dr. Ken Cox. Sir, good morning. How are you today?
Pretty good. How are you doing, Zeb?
I'm going to ask Wheels to turn the microphone up, and I'm going to ask you folks over at the studio to get real close to those microphones, almost like you're kissing your wife, if you would, Dr. Cox. And tell us a little bit of history as to why you wanted to be on the program to talk about this school district levy prior to next Tuesday.
Well, I'm new to the district. Been here just over a year. Been impressed with what I'd seen with our buildings and the support of the community. The board chose to move the levy from March to November so that we'd have a firm understanding of our budgeting before we start in January. We felt that by doing so, it would give us a chance to let people know what's happening.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure they are aware that we're not asking for anything extra.
Now, when you say you're not asking for anything extra, let me back up just to jump on the monopoly board here. Do you have anybody else there that you'd like to introduce on behalf of speaking for the Minidoka County levy?
Yes, I'd like to introduce Tammy Stevenson, our board chair.
Tammy Stevenson, that name sounds really familiar. You're not any way related to a dear friend of mine, are you, Tammy?
I would be related to that dear friend. He's a dear friend of mine, too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think the world of course, my dear friend Bert Stevenson. But now tell us a little bit about it. What are the amounts of money that you're looking for this supplemental levy? What are they looking at in the voting booth?
What we're looking for is the same amount that we had before. It's $1.95 million per year in the levy. The dollar amount would be about $298 per 100,000 for a company, half that for a homeowner. And that rate actually just went down recently by $10 for that amount. The same amount that we were looking at, what we've had in the past 2 years.
All right, now I'm going to have Tammy answer this. Tammy, what are some of the areas that the supplemental levy will fund? I mean, are there different categories?
There are. And our supplemental levy, we call it a plant facilities levy, which means that it's only used for buildings, technology, and maintenance. There is not any general operations money that it goes to, and not any of the money goes to salaries and benefits. It is simply to keep the upkeep on our buildings and to continue with the technology goals that we've put into place.
Okay. Can you give us some examples as to where the money would go and what it would be used for?
Do you want examples for the coming year, or do you want to know what we've already been doing?
Well, let's say a little bit of both. So they know where their money was spent in the past and what they have to look forward to that has to be funded again with this supplemental levy.
Our first priority is always safety. We look for the safety of our buildings and we look for the safety of our children. And so if we have any of those things that are of a concern, that's always number one priority for us, is to make sure that we're safe in what we're doing. That may include, as it did this year, some doors, some locks, updating of those things, parking improvements. Roofs on our buildings are always a challenge for us, as well as the maintenance of just our playground facilities, and we have painting and carpeting as anyone would in their home. The same things take place within our schools. Additionally, we put some of this money towards technology in our classrooms and in our infrastructure as well.
Now, Tammy, I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't hear you for a second. Go ahead and repeat that. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that's what we've been working on in the past couple of years, and we're basically, it's the same type of things that we're looking at in the future. We're looking to replace some windows and doors and locks and some playground equipment. We have some HVAC equipment that's old, and we're needing to start looking at replacing it. And we're trying to get into where we can look at it and say, let's do so much every year so that we're on a rotating basis and we're not caught by surprise, but we have things planned ahead.
Okay, sounds good to me. Now, you're always going to have people say, oh, no, all they want to do is when they get on the radio, they just want to ask for more money, and we don't need it. We'll just live with what we got. Now, that's not going to work, is it? In this day and age, with things wearing out and breaking, you have to have improvements for the schools, don't you?
Definitely. We're not asking for more than what they've had, but it is a significant contribution by our patrons, and we've appreciated that in the past. But we do need to maintain our buildings and the things that we're working on to provide the type of education that makes Minidoka County a leader in the state.
Dr. Cox, what about the facilities as they stand now? I mean, everything gets old. Pretty soon the mortar falls out, the bricks fall down and everything. What's the status of Minidoka School District right now?
I think we're in good shape. We have 2 schools that were built. We're still paying the bond on them. I want to say 2012. We have Minico High School, which was one of our older buildings, had a significant facelift about the same time. One of the advantages of having this kind of support from the community is we're able to take care of our buildings to make sure there's no problems as we move forward. We had a boiler overflow tank with Minico's boiler system that rusted out, and we're able to go in and replace that and upgrade it. The HVAC systems that we're talking about are new enough to be computer controlled, but old enough that those computer controls are no longer replaceable. So that's one of the things we're going to be looking at in the next couple of years, is what we need to do to upgrade our HVAC systems.
All right. Now, I'll go back to Tammy on this next question. And Tammy, is this vote, is it a simple yes or no, or is it a simple majority? Give us an example as to how this is going to be taken care of at the polls.
This is a simple yes or no. We do need 66% on it, 66.6% on it, but it is a simple yes or no. And we would like to take this advantage right now to just tell our patrons of Minidoka County, thank you. We have not had a levy fail in 20 years. We have great support from our community out there and our patrons that are there. I think one of the things that makes our levy so easy to support is the transparency that we have, but we also rely on our parent patron advisory team. It used to be called our facility team. And what we do is we bring in people from the community and say, okay, these are some needs and things that we have. What's your opinion and where should we go with? And it was quite interesting to me. I've been on the board for 8 years now, and our levy had remained at $1.2 million for probably about 10 years. And 2 years ago when we were looking at the levy, our patron committee came to us and said, it's time to increase it. And we were a little nervous as a school board because we rely on this as part of our funding. It's not the perks and the fun things that we want to do. It's become part that we need every year in order to keep our budget balanced. And so our patron committee is actually the one who said we need to increase it, and we think you should go to 1.95. And it was wonderful to have the support of our community behind us in doing that and realizing the need that we do have. Just as everyone else needs to keep maintenance on their homes, we need to do the same on our buildings.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Cox, is there a website with the information on it, or is there a telephone number, you at the office or whomever, where they can call for questions if they have any about where the money's going to go, etc.? How is that all structured so people can get the information?
Yes, you go to the main district website, www.minidokasschools.org. On the right-hand side there is information about the technology expenditures, the facility expenditures that we have done in the past levy, the current one we're operating under, and the projected projects for the future.
Okay.
They can also call me at 208-431-9347. That's my personal cell, which is on all my emails, which is kcox@minnedokaschools.org as well.
All right. Now, Tammy, I'm going to give you the opportunity to basically ask and invite everybody to vote for the levy, and I'm going to let both of you kind of wrap things up with your reasons as to why it should be supported. Go ahead, Tammy, you go first.
Okay. I got on the school board about 8 years ago. I've been actively involved in the school since the time my kids started school, and it has been a fascinating experience for me to be able to be on the school board. And as we started getting into the levy, it made me a little nervous. I hesitate to ask people for money, and yet being on the board, I see the expenditures that come in and out, and I see the needs that are there. And we're not asking for frills here. We're asking for simple things that we need to do to maintain our buildings and to provide the safety for our students, and also an opportunity for them to get those 21st century skills that they need through technology that will prepare them for college and will prepare them for their future lives. So I would encourage everyone to get out on November 3rd and vote for our levy. And I'd also encourage everyone to volunteer at a local school. Be part of the change that we see in our community in helping the education of our young ones.
My goodness, Tammy, you are very eloquent. You must have some political background in your family. That's obvious, very obvious. Very well said. Dr. Cox, what are your thoughts? Invite everybody to go to the polls next Tuesday.
Well, it's important that we exercise our right. I was born in Canada and became a naturalized citizen, and it has been important for me to exercise that right to show that I am proud of being an American. It's important also that we recognize that we don't get enough from the state. We have the opportunity to support our schools at the local level, and we have been blessed in this area to have a very supportive community. We're also very fortunate. This morning I was signing some certificates for staff, many of which one has been in our district as an employee for 45 years. We have many that have been 25, 30-year employees. The loyalty of our staff, the fact that they are dedicated to what they do and are recognized across the state as being leaders in education, makes me very proud to be here and be part of the Minidoka County School District.
Before you leave, I'm not going to let you off the hook, Dr. Cox. You've got to give me that old Canuck A. I want to hear it from you.
A?
There you go. I knew you could do it. We've been blessed to have on the program this morning, of course, Dr. Ken Cox with the Minidoka County School District and one of the board members, Tammy Stevenson. And thank you very much coming on, talking about the supplemental levy. We appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you very much. Those good folks are over at our studios, our main studios over at Rupert. I want to say thanks again to Dr. Ken Cox, and he's the superintendent of the Minidoka County School District, and a lovely lady, Tammy Stevenson. She did a wonderful job, and we appreciate them. And don't forget to vote on November 3rd, next Tuesday. Holy cow, we've got to get the weather forecast in here. And the weather this hour is brought to you by Scarrows Meats. Delicious. 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. They're your hometown meat cutter, locally owned custom meat processor for over 20 years, and they guarantee everything that they sell. So right now, don't forget, for the best of meat, it's Scarrows Meats. Here's Gina with the weather.
Rain showers and windy. That is going to be the theme for most of the day today. Expect winds out of the west right around 20 miles an hour. Rain showers. Hopefully those are going to be disappearing as we get on into the afternoon, though. High of 52 tonight, a low of 34. Hopefully going to be partly cloudy skies for tomorrow. Still a little bit breezy. Winds out of the southwest right around 15 miles an hour. Mostly sunny skies is what we're expecting. High of 55 with an overnight low of 45 for Saturday, last day of the month. Partly cloudy and 66. And for Sunday, maybe some more rain showers are going to be in the forecast, the high near 60. That's your weather forecast for Debit Duran.
Thank you very much, Gina. Job well done. And brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. And don't forget, they process all the big game, too, and can create that wild game bacon. It's really delicious. Scarrows Meats, changing the way we eat, one delicious bite at a time. Hey, calls are welcome, 436-2244. 1-866-927-4587. Give me a jingle on the landline. I don't know about you folks, but with my warped sense of humor, yesterday when I came in the house and turned on the television set and learned that an unmanned Army surveillance blimp had broken loose from its moorings in Maryland, and it was in the air someplace at 16,000 feet, and the Army was literally putting out feelers to the public like, if you see our blimp, would you please call us? And then they gave an information number. This great big thing was 240 feet long, helium-filled blimp, and it had some of the most modern mechanization for tracking different things for our security in this nation, and they lost it. They lost it. A great big $180 million blimp. If you see it, would you call? Well, then it starts coming down. And it just absolutely destroyed property, and it tore down power lines, and it destroyed like porches and home roofs, and it finally ended up in a tree in a field in Pennsylvania. How does something like this happen that's supposed to be tethered to the ground and absolutely cannot come away? And it wasn't on account of a storm. It wasn't on account of high winds. All of a sudden, it just, whoop, it's gone and ends up over Pennsylvania. Our tax dollars at work as it goes merrily along, destroying property on the ground. $180 million 240-foot blimp. Hey, call us if you see it, would you please? Unbelievable. Give me a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. You can have the honor of being one of the last callers on this week's, and the last caller, perhaps, for the month of October. So give me a call real quick, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. While I'm waiting for your call that I know is coming in, don't forget our Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations. I am looking at some of the tires for the cars and the pickups, many of which are on sale right now, like the Ultra Z900, all-season design, and is up to 80,000-mile warranty, depending on your driving conditions. Holy smokes! And then for the pick-em-up trucks and the SUVs, the Open Country HT on sale now. Caller, I'll be right there. Don't go away. All of these tires, and of course the best in brake service, the best in shocks and struts and front-end alignments, and of course batteries. All of this and more, and the best in service with Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Pole Line in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland in Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. Well, good morning, caller. How are you?
Well, good morning, Zeb. I guess Private Murphy didn't do a very good job of securing that balloon before he took off with the towel haul, now did he?
Can you imagine? I mean, honestly, maybe I'm looking at things in too facetious a manner, but a 240-foot blimp in the Army says, if you see our blimp, would you call us? I can't believe it.
It's an awful big sky, I guess.
I guess.
Weird things do happen. You know, people neglect to do certain things. Maybe, like I said, Private Murphy forgot to tie it down.
You know, but really, when you think about it, for all the taxpayer dollars and how intricate some of the material and the machines and some of the instruments were for our national security, it would appear to me that all of a sudden a sergeant runs in to see his captain and on up the line, and they say, sir, we lost our blimp. That's pretty hard to swallow, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, you betcha. But, you know, and to them, to some of them folks, the money isn't the issue because they look at a blank check when it comes to that kind of type of thing, you know, sometimes.
Yeah, but look at the damage.
As a taxpayer, but I agree with you. With all that information, with all that money, with all the technology on board, you'd think they'd have a little bit more control control over where they put it and how they tied it down.
Oh, man, I tell you, and the damage and all the property lawsuits and everything that are going to happen, this is going to end up costing the United States government a lot of money.
You bet it is.
All right, sir.
I'll talk to you later, my friend.
Thank you very much. Got time for one more quick call. Come on, somebody else. Somebody can be the last caller of the month of October for this program. Give me a call right now at 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. A quick note. I always had a lot of fun on Halloween at home in Wisconsin growing up. We always had, we did things as teenagers that were a little bit rednecky and et cetera, but we had fun, good, clean fun. Nobody ever got hurt, no destruction of property or whatever. The main thing I want to leave you with this morning is please watch out for the kids. And I mean that. Don't just turn them loose to go trick-or-treating. Please, not only because of the traffic hazards and the drivers, on a Saturday night, but please, there are bad people out here in the world. Watch over your youngsters, please. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, Eb, I got a question for you.
All right.
Do you think our taxes are going to go up under Ryan?
I don't think there's anything to prevent it. I think he's just going to be another man just like Boehner, maybe not as much as of a yes man, but I don't trust Paul Ryan's judgment on quite a few things. I don't trust him on certain things like border security and also the gay rights issue. I'm a little bit more than leery about Paul Ryan.
I think you're right.
God bless you, Tony. Take care. Thank you. Appreciate that call. And don't forget, too, about Halloween, though. I really want to stress the fact, those little ones in their costumes, they're hard to see out of some of those costumes, and the kids are carrying all the candy, and they're with their other friends. Be careful out there. And watch where they go. Be with them. Please, I would appreciate that. Next Monday on the program will be already, good heavens, November 2nd. And we're going to have Doug Johnson from Colorado. We're going to have the Alliance Defending Freedom, the Scows Answer Man, Golden Heritage, Minidoka Memorial Hospital. And I'm working right now on getting Curtis Ellis back on the program. He is outstanding and is going to talk a little bit about why Obama is sheltering and helping Muslims more than Christians. We're going to have that hopefully at 10:30 next Monday. And then next Tuesday is Election Day. Don't forget that. I'm going to wrap it up for today and send it back over to Wheels at the main studio, and I'm going to say God bless you and your family, and remember our slogan, the way things were are the way things ought to be. Tune in next Monday at 8:06 right here. Zeb at the Ranch. God bless you. Have a good weekend.